Welcome back everyone to part 2 of this vlog. We left our intrepid explorers just about to enter the British Museum. Now there's so many antiquities in the museum that I can't show you them all, but I will try and focus in on a few of the exhibits that I really liked. So let's dive straight back in there. On entering the museum you find yourself at the Great Court with its rather impressive roof. This was built back in 1999 and completed in the year 2000 for the Queen Elizabeth II, God bless her. And it is the largest covered space in Europe. Here we have the world-famous Rosetta Stone, the most viewed object in the British Museum. The stone was found by soldiers in the Napoleon Army back in July 1799, whilst digging foundations for a fort near the town of Rashid in Egypt. Rashid, translated into English, means Rosetta, hence the name. As you would expect, the French lost a battle to the English, as they do, and we got ownership of the stone in the Treaty of Alexandria and shipped back to England in 1802. So why is this big rock so important? Well, before we found this stone, no one knew how to read hieroglyphs, and we had no idea what the Egyptians were banging on about for 4,000 years ago. This stone has 3 languages on it. At the top, hieroglyphs. Only priests at the time could read this. In the middle, demonic, a form of Egyptian that was commonly used at the time. And at the bottom, Greek, due to Alexander the Great kicking everyone's arse at the time. The Greek we could read in 1802, and because all 3 languages said the same thing, we could decode the other 2 languages. Hey presto, Bob's your uncle, Fanny's your aunt, eat your shorts out, Alan Turing. There's also a 4th language on the side of the stone. Yes, the British tagged the fucking thing. It says, captured by the British Army, and on the other side says, presented by King George III. Nice to see we've continued with this tradition well into the 21st century of tagging everything. Bloody chavs. So what does the writing on the stone actually say? It's a decree from a 13-year-old ruler, just read it, to legitimise his coronation and to request to pay homage to him, which means I'm the boss now and you all peasants have to pay up. Basically, it's a tax rise to everyone living in his empire. Well, wasn't that nice? Bit of education for everyone there. Lovely. After we finished with Rosetta Stone, we came out and there was a whole load of other Egyptian sculptures to look at. So me and Jules had a bit of a Toby around the place, and I'll shut up now and you can enjoy the photos, okay? We end with Julian trying to fist bump a 4,000-year-old statue. We're in the museum at the moment, and we both agree the British have nicked a lot of stuff. Not just 20 or 30 pieces, hundreds of stuff from around the world. I'm not surprised everyone's pissed off about it. Really ain't. Fucking Joe, what do you think, Jules?
I think they probably needed a very big container to ship this shit over.
I mean, getting it back to Britain, quite frankly, is an amazing feat. Let alone carving the damn shit. Now, there are a lot of controversial pieces of art in the British Museum. And if you want to see videos on that, go check out someone else's channel. What I will say is, yes, we did nick them, and it's up to better people than me to decide whether or not they go back or not. What is impressive to me is the fact we managed to nick them in the first place. I mean, we're talking thousands of tons of weight here. Nicked, transported back to Blighty. I mean, we're not talking about shoplifting from Tesco's here. This is some serious engineering work just to nick the damn shit. So you will find that this is a bit of a reoccurring theme throughout the next few videos.
Just that, it's like, to get it to the point, they have to hack it off, stick it on the back of, I don't know, a donkey or whatever.
Yeah.
And carry it. I mean, how do they move that?
I have no idea.
We then walked through some galleries showing the Assyrian battles carved onto slate that we nicked from some poor bastard somewhere before we finally get to, yes, you got it, it's the Parthenon, where we nicked everything. Absolutely gorgeous, and they did a piss poor job of ripping it off the walls, I have to be said.
So, your thoughts so far, Julian?
There's a lot of stuff here. We did well at the nicking stuff. But this is like something that you think there'd be like one or two bits of stuff here, maybe. There's this room after room after room.
Julian makes a valid point here. Even if you're disgusted by the way the British stole all this stuff, it is quite impressive the amount of stuff we nicked. It's almost like when a mass murderer really starts getting up into the thousands and thousands. It becomes quite impressive to a point. How on earth do you nick all this stuff and get away with it?
This stuff, we literally robbed the entire country. We've done well here. Rule Britannia.
A refreshing can of Coke. We've bought two. I bought one for Julian, one for me. £5.35.
Which is, I think you can agree, a bargain.
Bargain.
£2.65 more
each.
or less chilled too.
Yeah.
More or less.
Thieving bastards.
Now, this fine fella you see here is called Hoahakanawa from the island of Rapa Nui, otherwise known as Easter Island in the Pacific Ocean. He dates back to 1000 to 1200 AD and is carved out of balsamic rock. The meaning of his name, Hoahakanawa, is lost, hidden or stolen friend, which is very accurate for this piece. As you've guessed it, we nicked this as well. In 1868, the crew of a British survey ship, HMS Topaz, visited Rapa Nui with Commodore Richard Powell as captain, and kinda got permission from the local Rapa Nui chief at the time. Although the only people to testify to this deal were the British officers, all the locals on the island said that this was bollocks. I'm summarising pages and pages of text dealing with this subject, but you get the picture. We, the British, have permission. And if you don't agree, speak to my big gun. What's a gun? Bang! This megalithic statue was brought back to Britain and they've been arguing it over ever since. This piece also has an interesting story behind it concerning the locals. Back in 1200 AD, the island was a thriving place covered in wildlife and trees, sustaining a fairly large human population. But because they cut all the trees down, the soil eroded and all the vegetation disappeared, followed by the animals, making it impossible for humans to carry on living there. So they all left for Chile. Let's pause for some quiet contemplation about our own society.
Can you imagine bringing him?
No. Well, it's 3 in the afternoon, and we've just done, 3 hours?
Yeah.
In the British Museum?
Yeah.
3 hours in the British Museum. We're a bit knackered. We're having an ice cream cone, or Julian is. And we'll go back in to see the Sutton Home exhibition and the Assyrian tablets. Assyrian tablets, I want to say.
Yeah.
And then we're out of it after that. Because I'm knackered.
So it's hard to tell what's the biggest theft in here. The Elgin marbles, the fucking £2.65 for a fucking can of Coke. Or
£2.65. Yes.
£2.50 for this 80p bottle of water. Fuck me.
People who work with us will know this bottle of water is what we pay 80p for at work, and we think that's a rip-off. £2.50 here for a bottle of life water. Thieving bastards. But apart from that, it's been fantastic. It's been a good day. You've seen a lot, I must admit. What was it, the African exhibition? We weren't that chuffed with. It seemed a bit crappy. But the rest of it was good. And, yeah. I'll do for time being.
Sorry to our African subscribers if we offended you by saying the culture wasn't that great. But, you know.
Yeah, it is quite funny how when you go into the African, majority of people in there are black. We went into the Asian bit, and the majority of people there were Asians. And then we went into the Arab Asian bit, and they were pretty much all Arabs.
Yes.
Yeah.
When we go to the Scottish bit, it will be full of people like him.
It's the Celtic bit. We've just been through there, you didn't notice. Never mind.
Have we been
Yeah.
through there?
Yeah, it was the Celtic bit. We just walked through the
They
last
kind
bit.
of just shoved it in with their fucking Iranian
Yeah, it's the
bit.
old British part. It was ancient Britain you were walking through. Spearheads and shit.
Yeah. It, basically, once you've seen all the ancient Greek and Roman stuff, it goes downhill. That's why they put the good
got a
stuff at
point.
the front.
Yeah, yeah. Once you see the main bits, it does like it just looks a bit second best, really, compared
Yeah.
to that stuff, really.
I particularly like in the African bit the fucking sports shirts from
Yeah, we don't know what that was about. There was a football shirt in the gallery from Africa. I'm not
from
entirely
about
sure why.
2010.
Yeah, most of the exhibits was like this piece of artwork was done back in 1995. Wow.
Here's an Oasis.
It was nice. It was some nice art, but it wasn't history, was it?
Here's an South African Oasis album.
Yeah. Definitely maybe was probably older than that. Right? Yeah, so I'll do.
Yeah.